What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're having a look at Luffy and Ace with their brand new Super Evolution. This was a much anticipated character, and while I don't think this is the best Super Evolution that we've ever received, I think that what they've done to the character is just make this character better and more modern, which is exactly what we want from a Super Evolution at the end of the day. However, you know, as I said, I don't think that it's going to reach the heights of Cat Dog, because I do think that is by far and away the best Super Evolution that is ever released in this game's history, just due to the fact that that character is basically it can be used in any piece of content ever. The unit is just absolutely phenomenal. But I digress. Let's actually talk about this unit as a whole. So of course we're going to talk about their captain ability first. So with Luffy as the captain first, they both have the ability of, you know, being able to give cooldown at the start of the quest. They give an HP boost of 1.2. They also give an attack boost. Luffy gives a 4.75 boost, where Ace gives a 4.5 boost. So Ace is a bit lower, but he does have the other effect of giving 5.25 times attack if they have a matching slot. So there's a bit of a conundrum between the two. You want Luffy for stable damage, and you got Ace if you do have those matching slots. Now, they do have the captain ability of making both quick and strength slots beneficial, no matter which character you're in, so you're going to be getting more natural slots. And then Luffy has the effect of 20% damage reduction, so that is also a way that offsets Luffy. He's a more stable and more tanky unit, whereas Ace doesn't have the damage reduction, but he does have the higher damage potential. And another really cool component of their captain is the ability to resist 5 turns of special reverse, and that is a really cool component. I really wish it would have been upped to maybe 10 turns, would have been really nice to have, but the fact that they do have just the ability to remove 5 turns of reverse is a really key component, especially when we get to the final arena that you guys are going to see in this clip, which is going to be against Sasaki. Special reverse is very important against that quest, and the fact that this character has it just means that they're going to be used in more content, because they just innately remove a really annoying debuff. But then, of course, when you do combine them into their dual captain, they become a 5.5 times captain, as well as making quick, strength, and dex slots beneficial to the crew. So it's a little nice addition there. So captain ability is like pretty stock standard, I would feel. I love the fact that they have the resistance to special reverse. So I think before we talk about their specials, we do have their switch abilities, and I feel like we have to talk about their switch ability first before we talk about their special. So the base switch effect is going to be relatively similar to what we had with the first version of Luffy Ace, being able to remove their own paralysis, despair, and slot bind completely, as well as giving themselves a matching slot that goes through block slots. And then the added effect to their base switch effect is they apply a 1.5 times chain boundary that caps out at 15.0. So being able to just get essentially a 0.5 chain boost every single turn is always nice to see. It's going to be used in every capacity just ever. Being able to just get a free chain boundary is just fantastic. And I think that that is a nice addition to it, because their switch ability beforehand was pretty basic and boring. And when you think about it, when you use them as a crewmate, you're not really going to get the best out of that, because the despair removal, you know, is only really useful as a captain, and you know, when they're a sub, the despair removal doesn't do anything. So I do like the fact that they do have a little bit more usability as a crewmate now with that switch effect. And then there's super switch, which does require 6 swaps, which I am a little bit annoyed about. I don't like when they release these dual units that have these stupid switch effects that take so long to get, because it does reduce the amount of time that it takes, or just increase the amount of time that it takes really to complete runs, which is annoying. But their super switch, what it does is now that it essentially does the same thing, except that the chain boundary is buffed from 1.5 to 2.5, so that is fantastic. And then they combine into their dual form for 3 turns, which is very reminiscent of the brand new anniversary character Luffy and Yamato. So we know that they had the ability to become the dual unit with their super switch, because their special ability benefited from that, and that is exactly what Luffy and Ace aim to do. So now we can actually have a look at their special ability. So we'll have a look at the normal special first, if you use their special when they're not in their dual form. So first of which, it gives 200 times their attack and typeless damage to all enemies, so very good damage from their special. Also 6 turns of bind removal, a really nice piece of utility that's going to be useful as a captain or as a crewmate. And then they have a 2.5 rainbow orb boost for 1 turn for all characters, which is pretty good. And then they also state that if you already had an orb boost when you launched their special, you get a 2.25 2.25 attack boost for all characters, and that lasts for 2 turns. So that's actually pretty cool, because you can be in such a way, right, where you already have an orb boost, and then you use their special, you get an attack boost for 2 turns, and then, you know, if you're using 2 Luffy and Aces, then after that turn has passed, you'll still have an attack boost, and then you can use their special again, and then you'll get the orb boost, the attack boost. So you can do some really cool things if you have other orb boosters on your team and stuff. So that's actually really cool. And you guys would have seen in the clip previous to this against Ashura Doji, we use V2 Rayleigh to get an orb boost on one turn, and then we get an orb boost on the next turn due to the level limit break 5 component, and we do really cool things with that. So make sure to check out that clip once again if you guys didn't catch that. Furthermore, with their special, they do the orb boost or an attack boost, they have bind removal, but then they do state that they change all free spirit fighter and shooter character slots into matching that goes through block slots, and they ignite enemies for 1 turn, and that ignite does 150 times that character's attack to the enemy at the end of the turn, which is very strong. I believe this is the highest ignite damage that we have in the game. It's very, very good. They combine into their dual unit for 3 turns if they didn't already have the dual form, obviously, and then if the captain is quick or strength, you get a 2.25 times conditional boost against ignited enemies. Very, very nice, of course, but you know, it is a little bit annoying because you do have to actually apply that ignite. You know, you got to make sure the enemy doesn't have an immunity buff against that, which can really halter how strong this character can potentially be overall. But then, of course, if you do go out of your way to get this super switch to become the dual form, their special ability is slightly buffed, where everything is essentially the same, except that the orb boost that you get is going to be 2.75, and that lasts for 2 turns. But then if you already have an orb boost, you get a 2.5 times attack boost for 2 turns instead. The rest of the components are essentially the same, except for the fact that the ignite effect lasts for 2 turns, and the conditional boost is still for 2 turns as well. So they're just basically slightly up the attack and orb boost numbers, and the ignite on the enemy lasts for an additional turn. So there isn't really that much different between getting their, you know, their super switch special as well as getting the base form special. So I guess I feel like, you know, if you're going out of your way to really, really go hard to get that super switch to then use their special, in my opinion, the ignite from the special should have been able to go through immunity if you are getting the dual form special. I think that would have been a nice incentive for people to go out of their way to do it, because I mean, realistically speaking, it's really not that worth it to, you know, go for that super switch. You can get through content likely just fine just by using their normal special. But if that ignite went through immunity, it would definitely be way, way worth it to get that super switch to then get the best components out of it. Of course, you know, getting the super switch is good in and of itself because it does give you the 2.5 chain boundary. That's always going to be a good thing to have. But the fact that the special doesn't really benefit that much from that is a little bit of a waste. Of course, still as a crewmate, you're going to be nice to have that 2.5 chain boundary and then getting a potentially 2.75 orb boost or a 2.5 times attack boost. And if the enemy can be ignited, getting an ignited conditional boost is always good as well. Though you do have to be careful because the enemy does, or your crew has to have a strength or a quick captain. So there are benefits and positives to this character overall. One big negative I would say that a lot of people do overlook is that this character's potential abilities are very, very bad because while yes, he has pinch healing, the other two are strength and dex damage reduction. So that really hurts the character in a little bit, unless if they buff those potential abilities, which would be a really nice change. But overall, that is my breakdown and showcase of Luffy and Ace 6+. Definitely a really fun unit to use, but due to the fact that, you know, we have so many good Luffy and Ace characters these days, I don't know if this character is going to see a lot of play moving forward, but nonetheless a really cool super evolution, and I'm very much looking forward to future evolutions as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
おっさんの覚悟が分かってる。無駄にはしねえ。